Hey, what's up, everybody? Are we about to get a fire sale for gold and silver? Short answer, I have no idea. But it's going to be very important to pay attention to what is said today, July the 26th, 2023, when Jerome Powell makes that all important decision of what his plan is going to be with the federal funds interest rate. Is he going to raise rates for the 11th time since March of 2022? We're going to find out that answer at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then at about 2:30 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, Jerome Powell is going to walk up to that podium, walk up to that microphone, and that's when the words are going to start coming out of his mouth. And that is when the markets are going to be listening. All the markets' ears are going to be open, and they are going to dissect every word that comes out of his mouth. Now, the first 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes is going to be a prepared speech. And that prepared speech, more times than not, he says the same thing over and over again like a broken record. So chances are he'll probably change a little bit of the words. He might say we're starting to see inflation come down. We're close to that 2% goal, but we're not at that 2% goal yet. I'm not exactly sure what that prepared speech is going to say, but usually that prepared speech is quite similar, if not almost exact, every single time he gives that speech. The date changes, the month changes, but usually that prepared speech is the same thing. But after his prepared speech, that's when the media starts to ask questions. Now, before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about the rate hike. Is there going to be a rate hike? Is he going to take another pause? I'm looking at the CME Fed Watch tool, and this is currently 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time on July the 26th, and the CME Fed Watch tool has a 98.9% chance that rates will go up by 25 basis points, and there's a 1.1 chance that rates will go up by 50 basis points. So it looks like rates will be going up today by 0.25%. Now, if they do, we still don't know if they will, but it looks like that is what it's going to be. The question remains, will he say anything at that press conference that will indicate that this will be the last of the rate increases? Will he say anything in regards to a pivot sometime soon? Now, Jerome Powell's message has been on point. He has been saying the same thing over and over again, that he does not expect any sort of a pivot, any sort of rates coming back down until 2024 and in 2025. But rates should remain what they are, even if rates do not go up anymore after this one rate increase by 25 basis points July of 2023. Not only has Jerome Powell been stating in most of these press conferences that interest rates are expected to stay elevated for quite some time. What does quite some time mean? I don't know. I've been trying to figure that one out, but I do believe that means no pivot in 2023, and that pivot will begin in 2024. Will he stay on that message? The other message that he said very clearly in his last press conference is that interest rates in 2023 are expected to go up by 50 basis points. Does that mean 25 basis points here in July and 25 basis points maybe in August, 25 basis points somewhere else? Will he stay on that message, or will he pivot on his message and say that he expects a 25 basis point rate increase in July and that is it? I don't know what he's going to say today, but I think it's going to be very important to pay attention to the words that comes out of his mouth. Now, regardless of the words that comes out of his mouth, markets sometimes do not believe what he says, and they take that message and they turn his words into something else, and they'll say, even though he said that there's going to be no pivot in 2023, we just don't believe it. And the markets do something else. They believe what they want to believe. So it's going to be very interesting to hear that press conference later today, and then to see how the markets react later today, but more importantly, how the markets react tomorrow on July the 27th. I would like to reference a little bit of a CNBC article. It says, despite an improving inflation picture, the Federal Reserve is expected on Wednesday to approve what would be the 11th interest rate increase since March 2022. Investors are hoping it will be the last for a long time. There goes that word, hoping. We're going to be listening, or at least I'm going to be listening to that press conference. But there's a lot of hoping. After every one of these press conferences, almost, you always hear speculation all over the place. He's going to start that pivot. This is going to be the last of the interest rate increase. Listen to the words that comes out of his mouth. That's my opinion. Markets are pricing in an absolute certainty that the Fed will approve a 0.25% hike that will take its benchmark borrowing rate to a target range of 5.25% to 5.5%. That would push the upper boundaries of the federal funds rate to its highest level since January 2001. The more pressing matter will be whether Federal Reserve Open Market Committee officials feel they've gone too far, or if there's more work to be done in the fight against inflation. In a quote from Kathy Jones, chief fixed income strategist at Charles Schwab, the signal will probably be, yes, we're hiking, but then we think we can sit here for a while and see. There's that for a while and see. Going back to Jerome Powell's press conferences where he says rates will be elevated for quite some time. She says, sit here for a while and see, which means no pivot in 2023, in my opinion. And then Kathy Jones is quoted in saying, but no promises, they can't give up the option. Then this article goes on to say, the Fed should be done in bold black lettering. Jones is part of a growing market chorus that thinks that the central bank has gone far enough. With the annual inflation rate declining to 3% in June, it was 9.1 a year ago. The danger is growing that the Fed could unnecessarily push the economy into contraction. The Fed should be done already, Jones said. They're walking a difficult line here. To me, the decision should be, hey, we've done enough for now, and we can wait and see. There goes again that wait and see word. But apparently, the folks at the Fed think they need one more at least. Then the article goes on to say, and I spoke about this at the beginning of this video, it says, in fact, Fed officials indicated strongly at their last meeting, the first one during this tightening cycle, that they didn't see a rate increase, that they see at least 2 more rate increases this year. And so it's going to be very important, in my opinion. What does he say? What does he say during that press conference? Does he stay on message? If he does, in fact, which a lot of people, all the experts believe, and as the CME FedWatch tool believes, that he's going to raise interest rates by 25 basis points today, does he stay on message and say that they are going to raise interest rates by another 25 basis points somewhere else this year in 2023? Or does he just say it's data dependent and we have to wait and see and leave all the markets in limbo and leave a bunch of uncertainty in the markets? That's usually what he does, because he always says this is not a plan, even though he says we plan on raising interest rates by 25 basis points here, 25 basis points there. We're going to go up by another 50 basis points in 2023. But then he says this is not a plan. We have to wait and see what happens. Basically, he's saying we expect that there's going to be another 50 basis points in 2023. But then again, it's data dependent. That's how I read his message in his last press conference. So it's all going to be very interesting to watch. I will be tuned in at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, listening to what Jerome Powell says, probably on YouTube, because I'm not going to be able to turn it on the television, but I will be listening to it one way or the other. Is there going to be a fire sale tomorrow on July the 27th for gold and silver? I don't know the answer to that, but I will be watching. It'll be all very interesting. To end this video, let's talk about the silver and gold current spot prices. Now, this is going to probably be way different from the time I upload this video, but during the recording of this video, silver is currently down 6 cents to $24.69, and gold is up $7.70 to $1,973.20. What will Jerome Powell say today at that press conference, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? I will be listening. Will you be listening? How will the markets react tomorrow? Will the markets go up? Will the markets have a fire sale, or will the markets sort of go sideways? It will be all very interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in that comment section below. Thanks everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.